Let's start off our day with something wonderful or hear a story about someone being marvelous. Let's make today Wonderlous. This is the show that gives you a daily dose of uplifting, happy, positive, feel good stories from around the world. Welcome to another episode of Wonderless News. I'm Hoyt Christopher. Let's get right to it. Our first segment is family raises over $262,000 for 72-year-old Domino's employee who fell delivering pizzas. Wow. The video of this it's incredibly shaky because this lady who's 72 years old, Barbara, she did trip and fall on the doorstep of, I think it's, they pronounce their name, the Kirons. And if I pronounced it incorrectly, I apologize. But they're in South Carolina, and Barbara is 72 years old, delivering pizzas for Domino's. She doesn't have enough money to retire, so she's been doing this for a while. Apparently, she's a fantastic employee. Domino's has named her like Employee of the Month and maybe even Employee of the Year before. So she's a great employee, but working way into her golden years because she doesn't have enough money to retire. In the video, you can see her on the Ring camera that captured it, or doorbell camera, that she was walking up to the steps and she kind of caught her toe, ended up stepping back. And then when she steps up again, she actually clips it and she does fall. She drops the pizzas, drops a couple bags. Thankfully, she was not hurt or injured, but she was definitely shaken up, right? Definitely shaken up. And the dad comes out. You can see him on camera, on the doorbell camera, comes out, helps her. They've got audio so you can hear him going, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "Oh no, I think I'm okay." And she's having a hard time getting up. He's helping her. She even like kind of gets up and props herself up on what looks like a little chair for like the kids. And she slowly, stands up. So she was definitely shaken. Well, the food was, what it was, but she was okay. She kept asking, kept saying, "I hope the food's okay. I hope I didn't ruin the pizzas and whatnot." And they're like, "Screw the pizzas. Don't worry about it. That was a rough fall." Well, she leaves. And in that conversation that he quickly had with her, he realized that she was really hoping to retire soon, that she's been trying to save up enough money to do so. And that's why she's working at Domino's. Well, they decided, look, this lady, she's way into her golden years. They both have parents that worked into their late years as well. And they're like, we don't want this for her. So they started a GoFundMe page. And in a matter of like a week or so, they raised over $262,000 for Barbara. And they presented it to her. She was just blown away. And now she's got something to retire on. She actually put in her 2-week notice with Domino's. So she's out of there. Gone. See ya. And what a great story, though. Again, a family looking out for someone that is just trying to get by, that is trying to retire and have something to live on at 72. That's scary. That is scary to know that at 72, you still have to work to have enough money to retire or just to live. And she seems to be a very sweet lady. So great job to this family that did that in South Carolina, and, wish her the best of luck. Next story, Vietnam veterans' dog tag was found in rice field 57 years later. That's right. So Larry Hughes, who was a U.S. Marine and fought in Vietnam, he lost his dog tag in 1966. Couldn't find it, dropped it somewhere, came back, ended up passing away a few years ago, but he did get back to the States after Vietnam. So he made it home and lived out the rest of his life, but never found his dog tag. And so on a trip that was planned by Virginia Senator Jim Webb, they decided to take some students to Vietnam, go on this trip. And in the process, they're at this farm, and this farmer comes up and says, "Hey, we found these dog tags from some U.S. soldiers. We'd like to return them to you." And one of the dog tags was Larry Hughes. So when they got back to the States, they worked with the Department of Justice and found out who Larry Hughes, where his family was since he had been deceased. They discovered that his sister and his son were still alive, and they presented this dog tag, or their father and brother's dog tag, to them, and they were ecstatic. I mean, so great to have this back in their life, and a great memory for them with their dad or brother. And you know, he didn't talk about Vietnam very much, is what they mentioned in the article, which makes sense. You know, from what I understand, my dad was in Vietnam, but he didn't have to go over to Vietnam. He was actually stationed in Alaska. So, but you know, fighting in a war, which many of my dad's friends did, Vietnam especially, they didn't talk much about it. I remember asking as a kid, that didn't come up. They didn't answer straight. It wasn't a straight answer. It was like, yeah, it was rough. Yeah, you know, we got through it. Yeah, I'm back. So, anyways, good, great job by Jim Webb, right? Brought it back, and that family's much happier moving forward, knowing that they have that dog tag in their family moving forward. So, now it is time for the Wonderless Moment of the Day. That's right, Wonderless Moment of the Day, brought to us by our sponsor, Rise by Shaman Angelina. She has a fantastic website on Etsy. This marketplace has her handmade coastal jewelry, beautiful, beautiful stuff. And there's a link to her site in the description of the show, whether you're listening or watching on one of our podcast platforms, or you're on our YouTube channel, which is YouTube at Wonderless News, then there's the description and the link there. Check out her stuff, buy something. It's phenomenal. And in the meantime, she has provided us with a video of wild horses running or galloping through the field. So check this out. Ah, love it. Wild horses running, wild horses looking free. That song by Rolling Stones is a phenomenal song as well, Wild Horses. But I didn't play that one. I don't think I have the ability to do that without giving them some money. But great little video. Love those moments. Thank you, Rise by Shaman Angelina. Now it brings us to our next segment. So 5-year-old girl takes her grandpa to daddy-daughter dance. That's right. I love this. I'm a daddy myself, 3 kids, and one of them is my beautiful little daughter. She's 6. And this little girl, Austin Wolverton, 5-year-old girl from Nebraska, unfortunately, when she was 18 months old, her dad passed away. So she didn't have a daddy to take her to the daddy-daughter dance. So she decided to ask her grandpa. What's cute is there's a little video of it, and you can see her asking her grandpa with a little note that she drew or wrote, right? So she probably drew some pictures like my daughter would with, you know, her and her grandfather and dance, and said, I'd like you to come to the dance with me, be my date for the daddy-daughter dance. And he, of course, was ecstatic and so charming. Grandpa was very charming about that. And so the video went viral on TikTok, which is one of the reasons why we were able to find this in the newsfeed with over 2 million views. And what a great night for them. They had a blast. Grandpa had a blast. He had a great suit on. Little Austin, she had a fantastic little dress. She looked really cute. It was a great, great little picture. And what a great thing to do and share that moment with her grandpa, right? So she couldn't do it with her dad because her dad's not here, but grandpa was ready to go, and it went off with a smash. So the next segment is Wonderless Thought, or our Wonderless Thought, which could be one of your one of your stories. But in this case, we're just going to talk a little bit about my thought on that wonderless moment with Austin and her grandpa. All of our families are very different, right? Some of us have a mom and dad. Some of us do not. Some of us have 2 moms, 2 dads. It's definitely a very interesting mix around our country and around the world. And it's important to realize that labels like daddy-daughter dance seem great when you're a daddy and you've got a daughter, but what if you don't? Or what if you're a daughter without a daddy? And we could go on and on with that. But the point is that she got to have that experience with her grandpa. And I think it's important for us to understand that the label of the dance or that experience is not as important as the experience itself.